He always was going to attack it when
I think like
People deluded, I'm back again. Allegedly, Benjamin White's return has been delayed. We've been linked with both Liam Delap and Adam Wharton of Crystal Palace and Ipswich, respectively. And there's a whole bunch of other news, rumours and gossip that concerns our football club. If you give me a second, I'll share my screen and we'll jump right back into it. Let's start with Benjamin White. White set for lengthy layoff. Arsenal defender Ben White's absence has been penciled in as 3 months after undergoing knee surgery. The versatile 27-year-old had the operation early this month to cure a long-standing issue, and Mikel Arteta said last month the procedure would keep White on the sidelines for months. Gunners medics believe White's returning inside 3 months will be a bonus, but will ultimately be guided by how quickly and safely he can complete the stages of recovery. Apologies. As we know, Benjamin White, he's a warrior, he's a Spartan, he's known to play with injuries, he's known to hide injuries. He's probably in a positive way for us and negatively for the medical staff. He's probably going to be annoying them to get back sooner rather than later. Obviously, it's a knee. At the point of you being able to walk properly and engage in training, that does not mean you're able to immediately start being in contact sport. So at best, he's probably going to be there anytime in January, probably expect it to be February. And we know he's a crucial player, and you know, we'd love to have him, Tomiyasu, Timber, Calafiori in particular fit people, and just as many players fit as potentially can be people. Moving away from that, Arsenal could sign Ryan Cherky. Now, I don't know how credible Dean Jones is, but Cherky of Lyon is a player I like. He said the player could be available for 25 million in January. Whatever this means. At number 4, it's Ryan Cherky, who's just absolutely unbelievable. Potential landing spots at the moment for Cherky include Liverpool, Chelsea, and Arsenal. I'm sure you'll have thoughts on others that should be in the mix, but obviously this becomes more interesting because there's a lot of talk that Lyon are going to have to cash in on some of their players in the near future. We'll have to wait to see whether that actually proves to be true, whether they actually are tempted. But I mean, you see the figures around Cherky, and there's like 25 million pounds is being talked about, which just seems like too good to be true. He's just different, this player. If you haven't seen Cherky play, just either stop the pod and go and watch him on YouTube for 10 minutes, which isn't the best way of looking at talent, and then come back, or go watch him while we're talking right now, because his skill level is outrageous. He feels like he could become one of the best players in the world. I do agree with that. I've offered my opinions on my main YouTube channel. Big up to you lot on this YouTube channel for my thoughts on him, people. Arsenal's stance on January transfers after 3 strikers scouted in Barcelona talks. I want to skip through the toss. We know we would like a striker. Whether we sign one in January, I don't know. We all know Edu has left, people. We all know we tried to go for Sesko in the summer. Apparently, there was a strong feeling they could get their man, but it fell down. Leipzig began to push for a bigger price. But yeah, the release clause. So who's telling the truth here? And also, Sesko wanted to play now, while Arsenal wanted to blend in a young striker because Havertz was doing so well. The goalpost had shifted a bit. That still remains the case to a degree. If you go big and buy big, what about Havertz? The Sesko interest is still there while they're watching the developments on Sporting Lisbon's Victor Gyökeres, like most of European clubs, as it says here. He did not exactly blow everyone away in the 5-1 win at Sporting this week. I mean, one iffy game where you've been scoring goals for fun. If that changes opinions, then something's wrong. It's fair to say Arsenal would not be interested in getting into a bidding war for Alexander Isak, and take notion they would need to pay 120 million, which is crazy, people. He's still got 4 years left on his deal for all the rumours. We are still linked with Rafinha. Apparently, we held talks over signing Rafinha in the summer, which is great, but we didn't. And since then, it's fair to say Hansi Flick has installed a new lease of life within the Barcelona and Brazil wide man. So that one there is probably a myth now. Going away from that, Arsenal hold talks over potential Adam Wharton deal. I'm having him, people, from Crystal Palace. Apparently they want 54 million, or 46 million rising to 54. I hope Palace stay up because they've got Eddie Nketiah and it's Ian Wright's old club. But surely if they go down, he'll be available at a cut price. Should have bought him when he was at Blackburn, really. He's we do need a centre mid. He's not probably the creative central midfielder I'm looking for, but he can pass the ball. He's tenacious. He's a very good midfielder, and I wouldn't mind him at the club by any stretch of the imagination. But we seem to be linked with Wharton and Zubamendi, people that are probably sixes. So how far does that go? Not sure why Lomberg slammed Gabriel for mocking Gyökeres's celebration, probably because they're both Swedish. He said, I'm not a fan of it. Of course, he must have had a lot of talk about playing against Gyökeres and whether he'd be able to do it. Then his point in showing that he can handle it is quite simple, but I think it's a bit disrespectful. Longberg, I hear that, but I'll be honest, who gives a flying monkeys, people? We've been linked with Verts. I'm not too sure how much stock you want to take in it, but the CEO of Leverkusen has said, very high, and why shouldn't they be? As long as he has a contract here, as long as he feels comfortable here, as long as he knows that he can play top football here and as a top team and can celebrate success, then he's happy. The thoughts of all players, coaches, coaching staff, and management of the club are in the here and now. We have enough to do it on the pitch until the end of the year. It often annoys me that there's such speculation. I can admit that. But the here and now is important. Nobody is interested in next season at the moment, and nothing has been finalized. I would love us to sign Verts, but it's going to take a pretty penny. And when you hear Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, Barcelona circling, where does that leave us? Allegedly, us, Newcastle, and Manchester United ahead of the January window, and actually Liverpool and Aston Villa are all looking at Brentford's Brian Mbeumo, who apparently the 25-year-old has a 40 million asking price on his head. I mean, can play in a pressing system, Premier League proven, has the capacity to get goals, fairly versatile with the positions he plays. I'm all for that. Thomas Franks admitted he could seek pastures new. He said, he was our biggest miss for the last 4 months last year. Even with Tony out, he was our key player and has added another layer this season with 5 goals in 6 games. That's incredible, and he's creating chances. He's a top player. I'm convinced he'll play for a bigger club. I'd buy him if I was at a bigger club. We convinced him to stay, and he's very happy. Convinced him to stay. So did he have offers in January? I'm not sure. All our players might need to leave us one day, but a lot of them are happy because we have a top in Vero. I'm not sure what that means, people, but let's keep it moving. Nico Williams demands made. Apparently, he will only move to Barcelona on one condition. What is that? He's available for 58 million, which could be seen as a bargain, but then you look at his wages, apparently in the 200 to 300k region. How much of a bargain is it, people? Apparently, they'll only sign him on one condition. What does this mean? If he shows clear signs of wanting to wear the shirt. So a bit of a clickbaity article there. We can move on from that. There's nothing there. Fiorentina and Napoli are eyeing a loan deal for Kivio, but it's unlikely Arteta will let the 24-year-old leave Arsenal in January. Unless it's permanent, forget that. We don't know when Tomiyasu's back. Benjamin White's nursing an injury. Zinchenko gets injured all the time. Calafiori and Timber need to be wrapped in cotton wool. We need you as a body in the squad, people. We've gone over Turkey. Sorry, people. What's this? Arsenal among a number of top clubs eyeing up the potential transfer of Ipswich Town striker Liam Delap, the former Derby and obviously Manchester City youth forward, son of Rory Delap, people, if you lot remember. The 21-year-old has 6 goals in the Premier League so far this season, people. Apparently Aston Villa, Newcastle, Bayern Munich. Why are they looking at him? They got Harry Kane in that. Dortmund, Leipzig, Ajax, PSV are all keeping an eye on him. Another one that if Ipswich are relegated could be available. Apparently he's got a 40 to 50 million price tag on his head, people. Apparently Manchester City have a 20 million buyback clause. I wonder if they do that. And while he's a striker like Alvarez, but it's very different, could he be the kind of number 2 to Haaland? I don't know, people. I'm having Liam Delap. Strikers typically peak late, and it's taken a while to get going at 21 years of age, but he's still only 21. Kivio's played less than 100 minutes in the Premier League. This reiterates what we know, that he's unlikely to leave, people. I reckon he leaves in the summer. Bologna, Inter apparently tried to sign him in the summer. Nothing came of that. Juventus apparently no longer interested, and AC Milan were looking at him last year, people. Apparently Fiorentina and Napoli asked for information, and it didn't go anywhere past that. Every child dreams of Arsenal. I'm not going to read this to you, but David Raya bigged up his move to Arsenal. Big up him as well. I'm not too sure what this is, people, with Kivio, and I'm quite tired of seeing that. Arsenal, what's this about? Arsenal have open talks to make their first January signing. What is the player's name? This is about Adam Wharton. We're getting linked with quite a few English players recently. Arsenal fans hoping Mikel Arteta will add to his squad in January's transfer window are likely to be frustrated. Disappointed but not surprised. We haven't got a sporting director. Should have done the business in the summer, really and truly. We've been linked with Gyökeres, can't see that. We've been linked with Isaac, it's going to cost a lot. Benjamin Sesko signed a new deal. Apparently, we're intending to keep our powder dry in January and continue to place faith in Kai Havertz, Gabriel Jesus, and Trossard where the striking position is concerned. And unless there's any injuries, then it's fine in that regards. Tomiyasu and Ben White apparently are our only long-term absentees. Tini's obviously come back after being out for 5 months. He'll probably leave in January, in my opinion. Big up Lewis Skelly as well, people. And finally, Premier League clubs resigned to losing 55 million euros Arsenal transfer target. And again, you know, I've been done by many different transfer rumours people. Arsenal and Manchester City, for what it's worth, as it says there, are being linked with Adam Wharton. So let me know your thoughts on Liam Delap, on Wharton, on if you think we should sign people in January, what you think Benjamin White's injury means. Get in the comments, smash the like button. One love.
Because you always just go, I think West Ham.
I've been given like